Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I am your host, your YouTube signing off and imitate. Never duplicate a superstar Team Vicious, and whoa boy, we got ourselves a long episode today. I apologize in advance, but we are going over WrestleMania, both nights. So night 1 and 2 was in Dallas, Texas, and well, first and foremost, no pre-show matches. So, right out the gate, night 1, it starts out, Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura coming out, going against the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and Boogs and Nakamura, they came out matching gear, showing off that they were doing those commercials for Mike's Hard, Lemonade. You know, they even had the guy that was in the commercial sitting in the crowd there to cheer him on. Nice solid start, you know, good pace with the Usos leading for a bit, going with Shinby in the punching bag when Boogs got in, started doing the power game. Really liked it, really, you know. Really liked and showed on how, you know, he's like super big and jacked and all power. However, plans as they are come arise, and as the old saying goes, what can go wrong will go wrong. Boogs had one of the Usos on a fire over his shoulder in a fireman's carry. The other one went and jumped on him, and then next thing you know, boom, Boogs' knee buckled under him, and then he rolled out. And the camera immediately cut away from him. That is always a tell that, you know, shit got ugly and it wasn't part of the plan. Wasn't part of the plan, pal. So yeah, unfortunately, Boogs got legitimately hurt. Nakamura wound up carrying the rest of the match. It ended with the Usos doing the 3D. They call it the 1D. It's 3D, 1D, it's a D, whatever, to Nakamura. The big story is Boogs wound up separating his quad and injured his patella and his knee, so he's going to be out for a while, which really does suck because you're making your WrestleMania debut and you wind up getting hurt in the process. Yeah. Next matchup, Happy Corbin, as I should say, going against one Drew McIntyre, and ooh boy, this was one I was actually looking forward to. Yes, let it be known that I was looking forward to a Corbin match, to a match that involved Corbin. Did anyone just check and see if hell froze over? Because I'm pretty sure that's an indicator of hell freezing over. Either way, big reason more than anything is because these two guys haven't touched. They haven't made physical contact all this time building up to the match, and that's what made me want it more, is because, okay, I want to see these two actually square off now. And that's what made it work. Now, they had solid, good back and forth. It was a slugfest, man. It was good. I dug the hell out of it. Now, Madcap Moss, that Friday night before, won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So, he was out there cheering on Corbin. Corbin wound up picking up the pace and was leading for a good bit until, next thing you know, Moss wound up getting on the apron, trying to distract the ref to help Corbin when McIntyre was starting to pick up some momentum, but he stopped him. Corbin then started yelling at Moss, no, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here, I got it. Then next thing you know, McIntyre started fighting back. Then Corbin hit the end of days. Drew kicked out. They made a big emphasis on, believe this is the first time anyone has kicked out of the end of days. And then Drew wound up getting the future shock in, hitting the Claymore, 1, 2, 3, that was it. The big highlight after that, though, was afterwards Drew had the sword, pointing it right at Moss, who came back out, and he was dead, like face to face with him. And then went, wham, took a swing, missed Moss, but destroyed the ring ropes in the process. And my first thought was, okay, if that would have that was an awesome moment, and that would have been an awesome moment whether he cut the ropes or if Moss was slow by at least 3 seconds and that sword cleaved him right in the middle of the head, because you would have had the most amazing WrestleMania moment the company would never talk about in the history of ever. I'm pretty sure they talk about Chris Benoit before they talk about that, where Drew McIntyre literally cleaved somebody's head in on live television. Or everyone's going to be like, holy shit, he just tried to cleave him and cut the ring ropes. Yeah. So next up we got the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic, going against Miz and the walking douche nozzle, Logan Paul. And of course he had to be a walking douche nozzle because he came out with a fucking $1 million Pokemon card wrapped around his neck, just like But yeah, as far as that match went, the heels, they were leading at the start of the match. Dom wound up being the punching bag. And I'll say this, as much of a douche nozzle as Paul is, yes, he is, and you know, he did hold his own fairly well in the ring and showed he could go. Yeah, that's about the nicest compliment I'm going to give to the walking douche nozzle. In case you haven't noticed, I don't like him because I keep referring to him as a douche nozzle. But let's just say it one more time so that way those who may not know fully understand. He's a walking douche nozzle. So Ray wound up getting a hot tag in, started cleaning up house. They finally, like I said, they did the double 619 to Logan Paul. Crowd went banana for it. It was good. But right after that, next thing you know, Miz came in, saved the day. Boom! Skull-crushing finale to Rey Mysterio after they did the double 619 and then the frog splash to Logan Paul. And then afterwards, the team, Miz and Logan Paul, standing triumphant, shoulder to shoulder, hands in the air, yay! And then Miz getting that mean look on his face. And then, wham! Skull-crushing finale onto him. Following night, Miz wound up doing a squash match and squashed Dominic, beat him within next to nothing. And then, folks, it finally happened. Veer finally came! Yes, you by all means, we're phrasing. Veer came and attacked Dominic. Destroyed Dominic, murdered Rey. Next week, we got Veer going against Rey Mysterio. So yeah, now we got women's action. Becky Lynch going against Bianca Belair. And, oh good God almighty. You know, if it wasn't Bianca coming out how she looked, it was Becky coming out how she looked. And, oh, Lord almighty. Whew. Oh, I needed my heart meds on that one. Oh, needed the heart pills there. Whew, doggy. Yeah. It was a damn good match, though. You know, all hound dogging aside, which, given this is me, it's going to be a bit of a stretch. Damn good match. You know, both tried each other's finishers right at the start. Becky being a beautiful heel in that kind of way on trying to end it as early as possible. Like, no. I'm getting this pin and then I'm going to go home. And that was and that's on how they were trying to do it, which, okay, I fucking like that because you want your bad guy to be like, no, see, this is cakewalk. Watch on how quick I end it. And then they can end it quick and then they're like, and then you see them break down over the course of the match, which she did. And, you know, it was a damn good match. Becky was leading the pace. At one point, Bianca actually wound up getting a shiner and caught a black eye. You know, legitimately caught a black eye. And folks, it's like what I said before. It ain't ballet. Sometimes you're going to have busted lips. Sometimes you're going to have a little bit. Sometimes you're going to get some cuts and bumps and bruises. Sometimes you're going to get legitimate black eyes. It happens. But Bianca Belair, she got the win, hitting the KOD. Everyone, again, banana, went bananas over all of it, and man, she had a beautiful ovation for the celebration. You know, she came out the following night on Raw saying that basically saying she went to war, she won, and now she's Becky. I hope you take this time to figure out who the hell you are without this title, because I sure as hell know who I am. So next up, we got Seth Rollins going against his mystery opponent. Seth comes out looking like a mix between wearing an outfit that looks like a mix between Cookie Monster getting skinned or some poor grandmom crying because her sheer curtains were ripped off the walls and made to make his outfit. But either way, Seth's mystery opponent, drumroll please, Wade. Drum roll, please, Wade. God damn it, Wade. Well, much to not many people's surprise, but yes, surprise, it was Cody. Cody Rhodes returned. My big shocker was Cody came back with not just his American Nightmare gimmick, but with his music. You know, he came back and a lot of big ovation for him. Big ovation for him. And I'm going to sidebar real quick. Probably the funniest part of all of that has got to be all the hardcore AEW fans that were watching were tweeting, "Oh, you're a traitor. You walked out. You left, blah, 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 blah." And showed pictures and videos of them burning t-shirts or his figures or his trading card. And I'm just thinking, what the fuck is that? You fucking idiots. Listen, I will say this now. If anyone is watching this and they have Cody Rhodes stuff that from his time in AEW and they're mad he's not there anymore and they don't want to do that, instead of burning it or throwing it into trash, message me and I will be happy to take it off your hands. Now, granted, I can't guarantee whether or not right after I get it, it may or may not go on eBay right away. But if you don't want it, I'll happily take it. Now, with that said, let's get back to the match. Really great match. It was a good match. It was Cody had a really nice welcoming back kind of. It was a good welcome back kind of match for Cody. Loved on how Seth partway through, "Welcome back to the big leagues, kid." You know, I had to throw out that nice little shot. You know, a friendly shot. That was all. It was just a friendly shot at like that. Not like not like throwing an insult saying, "Oh yeah, you guys are so piss poor, this, that," or whatever. You know? But the big thing, that's my big takeaway from this, with Cody coming back, it sets the bar, because now it's okay if somebody from AEW comes over, they now have the potential of, they could potentially, emphasis on that word folks, potentially come over as they are and, you know, be able to use that gimmick in some kind of a way to help, you know, in some type of manner. But, you know, not only that noticed, granted, 6 years away from being away from WWE, Cody, he is not, trying to think how to phrase this because I saw it that night. His back and his body was bruising up from running on them ropes, man. He's been used to running on cables for ropes. In WWE, they use actual rope. Like just rope taped over. And yeah, he's not used to running on the ropes. But it was a fantastic match. Good, great performance by both. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure some creepy old guy in California whose office probably looks like Hiroshima got set off in it would probably only give it 2 3/4 stars. But I guarantee if it was in Jacksonville or the Tokyo Dome, it would have got fucking 11 stars. Either way, Cody got the win by doing 3 crossroads. So, yeah. He did 2 and then started doing the dusty rolls, baby. A little juke and jive, and then you'll hit that bionic elbow of his, if you will, baby. And then did the 3rd. The following night, he opened Raw, cutting a promo saying on how he's back. He's here to win the world title because he had a dream of wanting to win it and show his dad he could. Unfortunately, he can't. And, you know, I gotta say this. Cody has gotta have Cody is the one dude I see that, hands down, probably has the biggest set of daddy issues I have ever seen. And trust me, I have run around with some women that have had some serious daddy issues. But Cody, he has more than any crazy woman I have ever dated or have chased after that has daddy issues. With that said, though, after Cody cut that promo, Seth then came out, looked at him, shook his hand, had that evil cackle of his, and then walked away, basically saying, "Welcome back, kid. I got my eyes on you." So now we come to the next match, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Oh, good lordy, Charlotte. Now, there was a couple times during this match, Charlotte had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction, if you will. So, if you're watching the replay on Peacock, you may notice the screen blackout once or twice or 3 times or more. That would be why. So with that said, now that I got the hound dogging bit out of the way, let's get into this match. It was nice back and forth for the feeling out, but man, I'm not going to lie. As far as this match went, it felt real slow compared to the rest of the night. Like, everything else was high-octane action, and I'm not saying it was all quick, fast-paced action kind of stuff, but man, it was just real high-octane action going from the first match of the night until now. But right here, it felt like somebody put a pin in and sucked all the air and momentum and fun out of it, and it was just like, ooh. And I'm just speaking from my perspective, sitting there watching, and more so with my son there watching with me, because he had his eyes glued on the TV the entire time, non-stop. But about 5 minutes into this match, he started reaching for his phone to go play Gold Rush on his phone. So yeah. But as far as the match went, it was what it was. It came to an end when there was a ref bump at one point and then Ronda had an armbar locked in. She noticed the ref was down. Ronda got up, picked the ref up, made sure he was awake. Then Charlotte, boom, running boot to the face. And then 1, 2, 3, that was it. So Charlotte Flair is your winner and still SmackDown Women's Champion. So now we come to the closing segment of the night for night 1. The KO Show main event with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens calls him out. He introduces him. Stone Cold comes out as only he does. And then Owens says, you know, I brought you out here not just for an interview, but for other reasons too, because I wanted to have a match with you. And not just any match, a no-holds-barred match. And Austin just looks at the crowd and then gets in the mic. You want Stone Cold Steve Austin to have a match with this sack of shit? Give me a hell yeah. Hell yeah! Get a ref out here, I'm about to whoop this boy's ass. They go, they have a match, and Austin, he whoops KO's ass through it non-stop. And Austin, I will say this, yes, he did look a little slow. Yes, he did look a little rusty. But you know what? It worked for him in that way, because as he started to slow down, you know what he did? Grabbed a couple beers, drank them, and then next thing you know, it was like back to normal. I've only seen two people in my life, the more they drank, the stronger they got into a fight. Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Sandman. Yeah. But match came to an end when, at one point, when Owens had the lead, he got a chair, went to go swing it at Austin. Austin ducked, bounced off the ropes, popped him in the face. Then Austin, boom, got him with a stunner. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Poured beer over him, celebrated with a beer bash all over. Then called Byron Saxton in, and me and Corey Graves were both cheering. Oh my God, it's happening again. Yes, I've waited so long for this. He stunned Saxton. Saxton sold on a Scott Hall level kind of bounce. Poured beer all over him, and then yeah. Then the following night on Raw, Owens came out, bad-mouthing Texas still and Austin, and then we get introduced to Ezekiel, who is Elias? Question mark, because he says he's Elias's younger brother? Yeah. That said, yeah. So now we go into night two. Night two, it starts out with the God King himself, Triple H, coming out, doing his entrance as only he can. And then he gets the mic, says, I wanted to do, somebody should do this for you and do a proper, welcome to WrestleMania! Points to the sign, then we get all the big pyro, hullabaloo, all that jazz. And then Hunter just gracefully, he leaves his boots in the ring, drops the mic, and walks off. News broke some time before that Hunter officially announced his retirement. That was his official send-off, so thank you, Triple H, for a lifetime of joy watching you either kicking ass or getting your ass kicked. So with that said, now we go into the matches for night two. Riddle and Orton going against the Street Profits, going against the Alpha Academy. And massive brawl right at the start. Riddle and Ford were really the punching bags for this, for pretty much the majority of this match. And this was a damn good opener, I will say that. Randy wound up getting a hot tag in, started cleaning up, then all sorts of mayhem ensued because, as it is, it's a triple threat, so, hey, anything goes, right? But match came to an end when Riddle wound up hitting an amazing RKO onto Ford, and then as Gable is leaping in the air, Randy then, boom, pops him with an RKO, 1, 2, 3. That is it. Then, afterwards, the Street Profits are in there locking horns with Riddle and Orton. They're like, whoa, hold up. Then they grab the cups, pour some drinks, about to have it, and then next thing you know, Montez Ford's like, whoa, hold up, please. Points out into the crowd, you see ringside, Gable Steveson, who just came off of huge wins in his collegiate career. Come on up here. Climbs on over. They pour him a cup. Next thing you know, Chad Gable interrupts. Slaps the cup out of Gable Stevenson's mouth. Steveson then just like, oh no you didn't, motherfucker. Rips his shirt off. Bear hugs Chad, and then gives him a huge suplex. And I pray I am speaking this into existence. Soon enough, we will have Chad Gable against Gable Steveson in a ring, and it will be glorious. Not only that, folks, save this video, because in 3 years' time from now, I am calling it Gable Steveson competing, main eventing WrestleMania for a world, either defending or competing for a world title. Now with that said, now we go into the next match. Omos going against the almighty Bobby Lashley. And right from the man, this was just a big hoss fight. This was two big old meaty men slapping meat. This was meat slapping meat kind of action. There is no denying this kind of a fight. This was a big hoss fight. Excuse me. And this was way, 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 way good. I fucking loved it. Way cool to see. It was, yeah, two big old nasty guys fighting. Now, that's honestly the best way I could describe it. You know, and match came to an end when Lashley actually suplexed. Yes, actually, Bobby Lashley suplexed a 7'4", 400+ pound man, and then wound up hitting him with several spears to get the win. The following night on Raw, MVP is out, boasting and bragging about Bobby Lashley's win, and then introduces him. Omos then comes out, says he wants a rematch, and then and then MVP saying, "You hear this? He wants a rematch." Lashley squaring off at him like, "All right, you want to go? You want to go? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on." Then MVP gets him from behind. Attacks Bobby from behind, I should say. Then he starts instructing Omos what to do, and then he starts beating him on his own. "You didn't need me! You didn't need me!" Yelling that, and then they both walk off together. So now we come to Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, which, hands down, one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania for this year's WrestleMania. I can't put it over enough. Man, I can't put this match over enough. I haven't laughed this hard since WLC. I haven't laughed this hard watching the match since WLC with the little tiny people and the little tiny tables. Oh, this was just too fucking good. This was good. This was just too good. Sami, he was leading at the start, but man, this was just like a giant, giant clusterfuck. There's no other way around it. There was a giant clusterfuck. You know, wound up getting a run in by Chris Pontius, Party Boy, who wound up stripping down and then started Party Boying him into the corner. And then when Sami went under the ring, Wee Man was under there, started chasing him, and then Wee Man scoop slammed Sami Zayn, which, not making that up, folks. And then Johnny Knoxville actually took a taser, an active, actual hand taser, tased Sami Zayn right in the nuts, and then tossed him off of the top rope and landed onto a table with mousetraps glued to it. This is real life, folks. Not even gonna lie. Yep. Match eventually came to an end when, tasers to the nuts onto the table with the mousetrap, and then all of the Jackass crew pulled out a giant mousetrap, put it in the ring, sat Sami under it, and then Johnny Knoxville pulled the cord, mousetrap snapped over Sami, and then Johnny covered Sami Zayn. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So now we come to Fatal 4-Way Women's match. Naomi and Sasha Banks going against Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, going against Shayna Baszler and Natalya, going against Queen Zelina and Carmella for their women's tag titles. And, well, before we get into that, need to address the one thing. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in skin-tight leather dressed up as Catwomen with a whip. Excuse me for a moment. Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah. If I wasn't going to have a heart attack before, I thought I might have at that point in time. Whew. As far as the match went, a lot of good action. Everyone had a chance to get a chance to shine. It was really good. You know, I dug the match. Everyone got a chance to shine. Match came to an end when Naomi and Sasha wound up doing like this facebuster code breaker kind of move onto Carmella, and then they got the 1, 2, 3. The following night on Raw, though, Zelina and Carmella, they confronted each other on it. Zelina started chastising Carmella, saying it was their fault they lost the titles because of the fact that Carmella's been such a bridezilla preparing for a wedding with Corey Graves. And then Zelina started making comments like, although he is kind of cute, and then she was like, oh no you didn't, and then they started brawling and all, and yeah, but again, back to Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Skin tight leather. Oof. Yeah. Next up, we got AJ Styles going against Edge, and wow. Edge had a fucking phenomenal entrance. Up on his pedestal, above all, watching above all, coming down. And as far as it, nice little bit of a tussle to start. Both guys really good and aggressive. Edge was pretty much leading the pace. Beautiful match. I dug it. And, you know, Edge, you know, I will say this. Edge is about 48. AJ, I believe, early to mid 40s. I just want that to show. Age is not really a number, and if that's not a big enough example, Sting at 61 is fucking jumping off of barricades to jump onto people through tables. So yeah, age is not really a number. Age is more so just a number. If you got the passion and the heart and the ability to go, there is nothing really stopping you. Yeah, that is all there is to it. And Edge wound up getting the win with the spear because as AJ was picking up the pace, leading, sizing up for the phenomenal form. Next thing you know, Damian Priest shows up out of nowhere and he's like, what the hell? Huh? Where'd you come from? And then turns back around, jumps off the rope, is in the air, and Edge spears him in mid-air. 1, 2, 3. The following night on Raw, Edge winds up letting Damian come out, letting him air why, and then saying, you know, Edge, the night you wound up having that moment of clarity, I did as well, and it is, I was so busy pleasing everyone else, I wasn't pleasing myself. His words verbatim, my first thought was, dude, you have a cell phone, you can get a hotel room, and there's this nifty little thing called the internet. Trust me, there are plenty of ways on there you can please yourself. Now, with that said, after he got done talking about on how, you know, they're just, you know, basically it's a newfangled stable. AJ then came out, started attacking Priest. Then they both started doing a beatdown onto AJ. Just as then they were about to go do a one-man concerto onto Styles, then the officials came out and stopped them. And yeah. Next up we got Sheamus and Ridge Holland going against the New Day. Now this was initially announced on night 1, but it got moved back. And loved on how New Day came out with wearing Big E inspired gear, wearing Big E singlets, and the jackets, and their outfits looking exactly like his. But yeah, it was a short-lived match. It was extremely short. I would have liked it to have gone longer, but it didn't. It was what it was. It was a match meant to get Ridge over. Meant to get Sheamus, Ridge, and Butch over. And it was just nothing but a brawl from start to finish. Match came to an end when Holland hit the Northern Brit on the Woods, 1, 2, 3. A lot of people were pissed off over it. I'm just like, I get the reasoning, but I don't like it. I get it, but I don't like it. That's it. So next up, we got Austin Theory going against Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee coming out the Seven Nation Army. The crowd singing Seven Nation Army, but me and my crazy wrestling fandom, I watched way too much ICW, and I was singing, "Oh, Trent Seven Army, oh, Trent Seven Army." Yeah, just weird random shit my brain goes to. But as far as the match went, man, you know, I will say this. Now, Pat McAfee, he did show he could go in NXT. But man, once I wound up finding out Pat McAfee was actually trained by Rip Rogers, that's on how I definitely knew. No, listen, man. It's not like he just did like a few days in a performance center and was able to go. No, he got actual training. He did actual training and then followed up at the PC. So he can fucking go. And man, he did. He performed. Pat, he was throwing rounds right at the start, but in theory, he was leading the pace. And the boss himself, Vince, was sitting ringside watching like, yeah, it's good, pal. God damn. Ha ha, that's good shit, pal. Yeah. Excuse me. And Pat wound up getting the win when he actually countered the ATL into a roll-up. Now, and I'm not arguing this one. I know, yes, I normally argue roll-ups, but Pat McAfee wound up putting on a hell of an athletic performance, and both guys were in the middle of doing heavy fighting. So it's not like it was a 99.99% lead, and then McAfee gets the win via a roll-up. But afterwards, McMahon, he walked around to go to Theory. McAfee sitting there, then looks at Vince like, come on in. Huh? And Vince is like, really want this? God damn, pal. Undoes his tie, unbuttons his shirt, climbs on in, and Vince at 74, fucking jacked. Vince at 74 is more of a motivator to work out and hit them weights hard than any fucking shit any other shit I've seen. That's an honest to goodness truth. And so yeah, now we have Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee, and Austin Theory, he wound up running interference while McMahon was throwing shots at McAfee. Theory split the difference on McAfee, splitting him through the pole, and then handed Vince a football, and then Vince, like McAfee being a punter, boom, did a kick right to McAfee's face, 1, 2, 3, that was it. Afterwards, Stone Cold came out, stunned Austin Theory, then went and stunned McMahon, and Vince really kind of botched it because got the kick to the gut, and then fell down and then off the ropes. And then Austin had to actually grab him and pick him up, boom, to stun him. Then went to have a beer with McAfee, and then stunned McAfee. Yeah. So now we come to main event of the night. Finally, folks, we're there. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. The Universal Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Winner take all title unification match. Brock at the start takes control. Oh yeah, get my damn words right. Fuck. Brock, he started out, and then Roman started taking control. It was good, solid action with both guys. Roman wound up actually spearing Brock at one point on the outside through the timekeeper's area. Noticed at that point he started grabbing his shoulder some. Don't know if he wound up tweaking it or if it was just like, damn, man. What the hell? But as the Match continued. At one point, Brock had the Kimura lock in on Roman. Roman then grabbed the ropes, and then as he was reached for it, then he got it. He was saying, I gotta go on, I gotta finish this. And then it eventually, after trying several, Roman tried several spears before Brock wound up finally locking in the Kimura. He got out, and then Roman hit a spear. Now, I'm not going to lie. The spear that he hit, it did look kind of flattish, but I'm not going to argue, because if he did legitimately, because he got the win, 1, 2, 3, and then when he went to go lift his hands, one up and then like that. So, yeah. I don't know if it was... I'm hoping it's nothing serious. I'm hoping he didn't really hurt his shoulder that bad. I hope it's just something that, just needs a little R&R time. A few weeks, maybe a month at the most. I'm hoping. Nothing too serious. But, yeah. Either way, that is it for this week's show, folks. So, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check it out. It's on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to contributor of the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, make sure you get some Vicious Rants apparel at whatamaneuver.net. Details are down below as well. And don't forget to follow these cool-ass cats on Reddit on the Twitter. Kenny Killer DSB_Ivy, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.